Well, the retrial of former Egyptian President Hosni Mubarak now looks like it's headed back to Egypt's appeals court. The presiding judge has refused to hear the case. Mustafa Hassan Abdullah walked out of court after reading a short statement. It's alleged that there was a conflict of interest since he's presided over other cases relating to the revolution. Hosni Mubarak and 7 other defendants are accused of involvement in the death of hundreds of civilians during the 2011 revolution.
Well, if you took a bathroom break during this hearing or went for a snack, you could have missed the entire proceeding because the whole hearing lasted a minute or two. That's how long it took for the judge presiding over this case to step down. He essentially walked into the courtroom, took a seat, and he said he don't want to be a part of this case anymore. And out he went, and that was that. The judge didn't provide an official reason why he stepped down, but several lawyers involved in this case telling CNN that the judge had some health issues. Others speculating that the judge stepped down because of the harsh criticism he received after exonerating several security officials who worked under the Mubarak regime in the initial trial.
Hosni Mubarak was in ill health. That's why he's been staying in a military hospital. He was indeed wheeled into court on a stretcher, was wearing a white tracksuit and dark glasses, but inside court he was laughing, he was waving at supporters and looked a very different man to the man we saw in the first trial. And perhaps it was because he knew something that we didn't, because a few moments later the judge decided that he was stepping down and that this case was not going to be heard. It was going to be referred to another court. And so this, for the moment, is all over, and we don't know when we're going to see Hosni Mubarak in a court again.
Yeah, very surprising. The former president was brought to this courthouse by helicopter from the military hospital that he is being held in to face this retrial. Now, the retrial is on charges relating to the deaths of more than 800 protesters during the uprising against Mubarak's regime back in 2011. Now, this retrial came about as a result of the fact that the initial conviction of Mubarak in June last year was overturned in January. And so he arrived here today expecting to face the start of what would be several months of court hearings to see whether or not he will face further sentencing in relation to the deaths of those protesters. And the first thing that happened was that the judge announced he would be stepping down. Judge Mustafa Abdullah cited health reasons, but didn't really go into much more detail, and it prompted chaotic scenes in the courtroom, people really not quite knowing what was going on. The suggestion is that this case will now move to another court.
This means that there's now an indefinite adjournment of the proceedings in Cairo because Judge Mustafa Hassan Abdullah said he felt unease in reviewing the case. The former president is facing a retrial after he appealed a sentence of life imprisonment for conspiring to kill protesters during the 2011 revolt that led to the end of his 29-year rule. Over 800 people lost their lives as a result of the crackdown imposed by his government. Hosni Mubarak, who's in poor health and being held at a military hospital in Cairo, is joined in the dock with the former Interior Minister Habib al-Adli and 6 security chiefs.